Hi, this is Adrienne Berg, and this is the video edition of The Ageless Traveler. We just did a terrific, phenomenal podcast on pickleball with all the information you need to know to go on a great road scholar trip, to go on a boot camp with our guest. You'll be hearing from him in a moment about that boot camp. But you know, and you've heard me rant about it, I'm a little worried about pickleball. People are paying a little bit of money, but a lot of time. 4 to 5 hours, some of my friends play a day out on the pickleball courts. Now, it's true. It's intergenerational. It's good for your health. It's great. But don't we have other things to do? It's become an amazing phenomenon with 40 million people playing pickleball, with pickleball courts all over the country. It's not even regional. Wherever you go, it's pickleball nation. So we're going to do two things. We're going to find out from Coach Russell, Eleftherian, why it's so popular, right? And how we can maybe use it, how we can use it for less isolation, more friendship, and being out in the world and making a contribution. But we're also going to hear from him about how we can be better at the game. So thanks for coming on to our video portion. And of course, the audio was great. Look what I did. I know you're laughing at it, but I paid $9.99. And I have not taken it out of the box yet.
It's a good looking set.
It's a great looking set for $9.99 and it from Dick's. And you know what? I live next door to a pickleball court. Next door. I could hear it. If I wasn't concerned about the noise here, some of you are hearing feedback. That's the pickleball court, honestly. So tell me, why do you think, let's go back to that question. You love this sport yourself. You're a professional, you're certified. What's the great big deal about it?
Well, the social aspect of pickleball, where a lot of people can play at the same time, 4 on a court. It's mostly all doubles. 95% of it's doubles. Only 5% is singles. The court is shorter, so you don't have to run as much, especially it's easier for us older people, I guess, ageless
travelers, right?
Right. Yeah. So the sport's really easy to learn. It's very forgiving. It's not like let's say tennis, where the strings really can dictate where the ball goes. It's in pickleball, it's just a more forgiving sport. So it's easy to learn, very social, and the games are only 20 minutes. So you're playing with different people all day long.
I think that's one of the great features of it. The fact that you really get to meet a whole bunch of different kinds of people instead of the same old all the time. Because as we get older, we have wonderful friends and great spouses. But how many times can you tell the same story? So that can they hear the same story? I think that's an important part of this. Now, let's just take the road scholar trip, for example. People are playing pickleball and they're learning to play. And they're also some of them are very good players. Do they get divided into like major leagues and minor leagues? What do you do when you have people that are inconsistent in playing?
Well, at the Road Scholar, and including my Suncoast pickleball camps, we divide the players into like ability groups, 4 to 8 people. And so then the people that attend can go be in a group with a like ability players. Now, Road Scholar, they're all learning at the same time. We also offer an intermediate pickleball Road Scholar at Montreat here in North Carolina. And so those people have been playing for a while.
Okay, so they're the experts. Yeah. They've got to make. So show us something. So at some point, I promise you, I'm going to take this out of the box. I really will. I'll do. That's number one. I live in a golf resort, so I bought this at Marshall's. This is a golf dress, special golf dress. I'll tell you why I bought it. I was in Marshall's, and somebody behind me said, "Oh, that would be great for pickleball." There was a big label on it, and it said golf dress. So I'm telling you, this pickleball is like the pod people. It takes over everything. It's even taking over the golf dresses. I'm scared, I'll tell you. Yeah. But nevertheless, if I wanted to do something, whether it's hand-eye coordination or you mentioned on the show doing squats, which I actually do every day, What would you show one thing that you can visually show somebody to improve their game?
Well, you know, we talked about the squats. I happen to have my paddle here. Okay.
It's classic. It's a classic.
Yeah. So right now, this would be with the palm up would be ups. So you take a ball and just tap it up to get used to the ball. And these are forehand ups. And then here you would do the same thing, toss a ball, and you would do backhand ups. Okay. You could do the same thing, taking a ball, you toss it, drop it, and then you can do downs, forehand downs, and you could also do the same thing with the backhand downs.
So you could practice that almost anywhere. When I was a little girl, maybe you had it too. Do you remember those paddles with a little ball and it was attached with a rubber string and you would go like this?
Yeah, tether tennis is what they called that on the playgrounds.
Oh, is that what they call that now?
Yeah, when I was with Hillsborough County, the Parks and Recreation Department, we had tether tennis, and the paddle had holes in it, right? And little paddle, right? And so, yeah.
I'll tell you, when I was a child, I got what they today would have called the participation award. That's for the people who can't play anything, but they show up. That was kind of it. Okay.
We need people like you. That's great.
Well, yeah, showing up is 99% right of success. Okay, so I will show up. I will try it. I will get it videotaped. I will show it to everybody watching, and everybody can laugh at me, and I will be fine. But what I have to say is this, I'm going to end with this because I really care about this. When I see millions of people playing, and remember, I'm talking about the United States. We travel all over the world. I see this everywhere. My friend just is telling me from Paris, I work with the United Nations and we're on a committee, that she can hear her pickleball court next door to her, which was also in Paris from a tennis court, right? So this is a worldwide phenomenon. When I see millions of people doing something, I want to access them, particularly those folks, let's say over the age of 45, 50, 60, 70, 80 and up, and mobilize them into something contributory that they could do, not just for themselves, but for the world. And there are a lot of sports, many sports, almost all of them, major sports, have some kind of foundation where you can give for a cause. They do all kinds of things that help the people who love the sport give back in many other ways. Do you see that happening with pickleball? And if not, how can we make it happen with pickleball?
Well, it's happening right now. I cannot tell you. We have what we call pickleball ambassadors, and that's how I started back in Tampa, Florida. And basically, I would go to churches, recreation centers, other parks, and the seniors that already knew how to play the sport would go to these schools and teach and volunteer at the schools and the recreation centers and teach the children how to play pickleball, because it was such a big sport. And so the ambassadors are there to grow the sport. So we're looking at volunteering in that regards.
So everybody's going to hear it here first. One of the great problems of my life was that I wasn't taught sports. I make fun of it, but in fact, nobody came to my school in the 1950s and said it was important to be fit. Nobody said it. And I really congratulate you for making that part of the lives of children. And the other thing you're going to hear first is we have something called Ageless Ambassadors. That's what it's called, just like yours. Ageless Ambassador Program, where the people that are in our group travel with us or in our salon community have a variety of different ways that they can give back to the world. All kinds. With travel, without travel, we call it volunteering. And so I'm going to add the pickleball ambassadors to the things that I'm offering our groups to do for those who play pickleball. And guess who they're going to contact? You. That's
contact me.
That is what Ageless Traveler is all about. So thank you so much for being with us today. This was fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me on the show. I had a great time.
Wonderful. And everybody else, Yeah, go ahead.
I'll see you on the courts.
We'll see you on the course, right? I
Let's
think
get
he's got a tagline.
Open that pickleball paddles up and get on the court.
I'll open it. Okay, he's got a tagline. So do we. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us, go to agelesstraveler.com. You'll see our podcast where you can listen, you can review, you can rate us on agelesstraveler.com. And of course, here on our YouTube, please subscribe. We love you. We'll see you next time.